Hello and welcome to the MAC weather page for this Friday, November 4th, and the only thing we got to say is just beautiful fall weather is in the outlook, not only for this weekend, but through much of next week and possibly into the following week, as we see just a very prolonged period of overall dry weather and temperatures running about 5 to 10 degrees above normal. And our normals, highs of 52, our normal low is 34. Quite a memorable day on this date back in 1966. We had a record low of 16 degrees. We also had a record snowfall of 1.5 inches, but that follows on the heel of a lot of snow the previous day, giving us a record total of 11.2 inches of snow for the date back on this day again in 1966. And here's what the weather map looked like. We had a low pressure system on this date moving up just north of Lake Erie. It originated in the Gulf of Mexico near the Florida Panhandle and moved almost due north, bringing lots of precipitation up to the north and then funneling down the cold air on the backside of that storm, giving much of the state a very significant snowstorm, again back 50 years ago today. And if we look at some of the snowfall amounts, very heavy snow all the way from parts of Tennessee and Kentucky up into Indiana, Ohio, and right into the state of Michigan. Here are some of the individual snowfall amounts. We had 9.6 inches of snow down around the Toledo area, 10.5 in Ann Arbor, and you can see this was followed up by the most significant storm as far as snowfall totals that ever recorded in Saginaw, with 23.8 inches of snow just a couple of months later in January, and what was considered one of the great blizzards of all time, probably second to the blizzard of '78. The big difference, about an inch less of snow in '78, but we had about 2 days of winds between 40 to as much as 80 miles an hour across the state. So again, in November 1966, 50 years ago, we were just coming off a very significant snowstorm. If we look at the nation's temperatures yesterday, a little warmer, 95 degrees at Edinburgh, Texas, along with McAllen, Texas, and the low was 11 degrees at Boise State Park in California. As far as conditions around the area, you can see yesterday we were in the low 50s. Let's move ahead to this morning. You can see about 10 to 15 degrees cooler in some areas, down in the upper 30s to the low 40s for the most part. And if we look at the satellite view this morning, just a beautiful picture out there, nothing but clear skies from the Great Lakes all the way back to the Rockies, and we continue to forecast a lot of dry weather coming up. If we look at the weather map this morning, you can see that front that moved through the area and the secondary front that moved through the area and gave a couple of weak showers yesterday. Now well off to the east, high pressure system off into the Dakotas is going to be sliding to the east, and by tomorrow morning, high pressure over the Ohio Valley is going to dominate our weather almost from coast to coast. The wettest conditions across the United States here over the next week to 2 weeks is going to be to the southwest and to the west. And for us, again, as we look at high pressure system dominating the area by Sunday morning, again, this next system will come through Monday, will bring just some very light scattered showers, perhaps to some areas across the Great Lakes, but any amounts would be just a couple of hundredths of an inch or not at all for many areas. And if we look at the precipitation here over the next 7 days, you can see the WPC is forecasting no precipitation across the entire area here over the next week, with just light amounts for the UP. And if we look at the 16-day GFS outlook, this is over a half a month, only about a quarter inch or less for many areas, maybe up towards the Traverse City area. But again, a very dry pattern overall, and this is going to be some great weather coming up for harvest. And so we know it's going to be pretty dry, or we believe it's going to be quite dry. As far as temperatures goes, much above normal for much of the Great Lakes back to the west. And if we look at the 8 to 14 day outlook, again, a trough is going to start trying to work its way from the eastern portions of the U.S. eventually into the Great Lakes. And I think these maps here in about 15 days are going to be a lot of cold air across the Great Lakes. But again, over the next 2 weeks, so it looks like great weather conditions for harvest. Thanks for stopping by, and have yourself a great day, a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday, and 73s to all.